So the Diddy trial is on its way. It's been going on for a couple of days, and I believe for the last couple of days, Cassie took the stand in the prosecution's case, and a lot of things came out that disturbed probably nearly everybody. Uh, what I want to do is want to get into a summary of what Cassie had said, and then we're gonna, you know me, I'm gonna hit on a couple of angles that may disturb some people, may get you upset, may make you feel some type of way. But man, you got to be honest when stuff like this happens. Ah, you can't go by emotion. You got to go by reality and logic. But anyway, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit your notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. Let's hit it.
Behind me, you see the federal courthouse of the Southern District of New York. It's 500 Pearl Street. That's the exact address. And inside this courtroom on the 26th floor, there was intense testimony today by Cassie Ventura. She took the stand for a second day, walking into the court almost with a regal attitude, very pregnant, wearing a long, form-fitting charcoal gray sweater dress with a black maxi coat over it and very high heels, which she just glided into the court, looking straight ahead, not looking at the side of the courtroom where the Combs family and some of the supporters who have shown up for Sean Diddy Combs were actually seated. So
That's a great description that she gave. That's real journalism right there. Like you're not even there, but you can picture exactly how she looked when she walked into the courtroom. Main thing I got out of it is she's very pregnant. I think they say she's like 8 months pregnant. I believe that is a tactic, a smart tactic by the prosecution to have this woman out here because now you're going to try to get the empathy and maybe sympathy of the female jurors and anybody else who's watching the case because she's pregnant and she's emotional. And shoot, everybody was born from a mom anyway. So like the timing couldn't have been better.
all throughout the day,
And I think a lot of people are wondering, like, how is she able to testify? But yeah, she got like $20 million from P. Diddy. Well, she got $20 million for a book. I don't think Diddy thought that he was going to go to a court date or a trial at any time of his life. He just didn't want her to put the book out. But once he gave that money, like real quick, and then everybody and their mama started coming out the woodworks. But there were people that was coming out before Cassie came out and was accusing Diddy of stuff, and people, what I'm saying, they just brushed it aside, didn't want to make a big deal out of it. But when this woman came out and he actually paid her, and then other folks started coming out trying to get money, that's when it all went to hell in a handbasket for old Sean Combs.
the intensity kept building and building and ratcheting it up. Yesterday, we learned of how she met Sean Diddy Combs. We learned of the early days of their relationship, of how she knew him for a while. Gave her a record deal, and then it became a personal relationship, which quickly devolved into these freak offs, these sessions where she would be hiring male escorts to have sex with her.
Now I understand too that he gave her a record deal. It was like a ten album deal. So he pretty much signed her to be his possession for damn near who knows how long. She was young. She knew very little, if anything, about the music business. He'd been in the music business for a while, been screwing people for many years, so he knew how the game went. And he was just a deviant. He's just a deviant, and I think I do believe that he tried to use it, that he got what he wanted,
While
but it all came full circle now, buddy.
Sean Diddy Combs allegedly watched from another part of the room or the hotel suite that they happened to be at. So yesterday it was
Hold on.
basically
So hear this.
a young sex with her, these freak offs, these sessions where she would be hiring male escorts to have sex with her while Sean Diddy Combs allegedly watched from another part of the room or the hotel suite that they happened to be at. So yesterday it was basically a young naive. She was talking about when she was 19, when she was 20 years old.
And we're going to get into that whole age naive thing later on. But you know what's funny, how when she said that she would pay for male escorts, and Diddy would be in the other room watching, or another part of the room watching. And then I saw somebody posted one of Biggie Smalls, Notorious Big's lyrics, where he was saying that basically they'd be in the hotel and the girl sexing him while your man, gets his rocks off in another part of the room or another building. I mean, yeah, or another room or something. Interesting.
21, a young, naive woman meeting the superstar who was at the height of his power, at the height of his fame, and that how she just became involved in these freak offs, not so much because she wanted to herself, but because she wanted to please him. She wanted to make him happy. And then gradually, but very steadily and very, at a rapid pace, she found out that if she did not participate in these freak offs, he would get angry with her. And then she said there were beatings allegedly, and that he would also punish her by taking her electronics away. So today we basically picked
Like a
up in
kid.
the middle of their relationship. She's describing it, how he's becoming more controlling. They showed evidence in court, photographs of Cassie with bruises on various parts of her body, a big gash.
You know what? Let's go back to that whole 19-year-old naive thing. Question I have, and I want to wait till later on, but we'll hit it now, and maybe we may touch on it again later when she says more. 19, is she naive? Is she naive? It's funny because let's go back when I was in junior high. I told y'all stories of I was in school with some girls who said they had boyfriends who was in high school, college age, grown, boyfriend 22 years old, and they're like in the 7th, 8th grade. And we're going to say that they're underaged, right? But growing up, how come most of the females that I knew, and I know a lot of guys can attest to this, and hell, probably women can attest to this too because they lived it. They always said they want to date an older guy because these young boys their age are just not mature and they just don't get it. Right? That's what they'll say. Nobody coerced them into saying that, into believing that. Maybe they mama or they grandma, but no dude said, "Man, you need your older man because these young boys don't know how to." Ain't no dude gonna say nothing like that. First of all, they're not gonna do that. You're enamored with them because they're older. They got stuff. They may have cars. They got money. Got their own house. You can go and do whatever you want to with them. Go kick it with them anytime. You know what I'm saying? Be around grown folk. You're able to do that. And you can't do it with a boy that's in junior high with you or in high school. Ain't too much you can do with a guy like that. Or a guy who's living, you know what I'm saying, or a guy who's living with his parents. You can't do those type of things. But you can get out in them streets if you get you an older man. And I went to school with Nia Long said her boyfriend, when she was in high school, her boyfriend was in his 30s. Boyfriend now, it's a grown ass man, but he a boyfriend. Man, please. In his 30s. Dang on pervert. And she said it like it was nothing wrong with it. So my point, again, the question is, was she naive at 19? Because women love to say that girls mature faster than boys. So you so damn mature, you're gonna go out there and deal with a grown man. A man who's been out here a whole lot more than you. You might think you mature because you've been talking to your mama and your auntie at the hair salon or in the kitchen, and they talking about their boyfriends and how sorry they are, but how they ain't doing it, how they ain't about this, ain't about that. But every dang night they coming over, clapping cakes, and then leaving. They get into it every doggone day, but then they get done getting into it. You hear them in the back in the bedroom getting it in. But you are more mature than we are. And yes, females, I'm just gonna say females like to get it in at an early age. I can remember being a kid. I'm talking about a kid, not even a teenager. When young girls they be wearing makeup, be trying to get at you. I done seen like young girl got naked, like serious, like the older sisters and cousins, they be trying to hook shit. They be trying to hook like me and they little sister up. I could go over there to the house and the little sister got on makeup. She ain't got no clothes. You know what I'm saying? They go in the room. She ain't got no clothes on. We just sitting there both looking like star-nated fools, just sitting there looking at each other. I don't know what the heck is going on. But you got these older girls, cousins and sisters, promoting this. Girls promoting this behavior. Shoot, I mean, shoot, I've had girls who were like older than me, like chase me, you know what I'm saying, trying to grab on me and kiss me and stuff like this. This is what you call mature. No, your sexual maturity might mature faster than us. Your body might develop faster than us. Hell, I know girls who grow up to be like 5'6", 5'7" in the sixth grade, and the boys be like 5'2", but by the time high school hit, them boys are like 6 foot and tall, and them girls ain't grown no taller. So yeah, physically and sexually matured, y'all might be more mature or fast. As a grandma used to say, them little fast tail girls. That's the only maturity I see because Cassie was 19. Let y'all tell her she was a legal age. So what is it? Is legal age and grown and mature? Are those three things not the same thing? Or are they different? See, I get tired of people talking about how grown you are. I don't like say when people are grown, but then live in your house. You know what I'm saying? Grown folks be living in somebody else's house talking about they're grown. No, you're not grown. Because if you was grown, you'd actually be out there doing grown folks things like the rest of us did. I can say I was grown at 18, 19 years old because I moved out the house, got a job, got an apartment, started a family, and been out the house ever since. I think I moved back one time for like one day and couldn't take it. Because hell, I've been out there already. So I was like, shoot, nah, gotta go find somewhere to stay, gotta find a job. Well, I had a job, I had to find somewhere to stay, gotta get up out of here. Not that I didn't like love my parents, but you know, I respected their rules, and I was like, they got their rules. I'm used to living a certain way. Let me go be grown and do what I need to do. And I had a child at this time too. You see what I'm saying? So my thing is again, but Cassie was 19. Was Cassie grown? Yes, she. I mean, compared to what y'all like to say, she can't be a victim one minute and then be a participant the next second. You can't have it both ways. You can't be like, oh, when she's 19, you meet an older guy. And the first thing, what y'all girls like to say, girl, go out there and get that money. Oh, that man got you with Diddy? Man, I let Diddy do anything with me, like they say about R. Kelly. Oh, R. Kelly could have, he could, but he could, hey, oh, he could pee in my mouth or whatever. He R. Kelly, you saw the video. He can do that to me. They always say that and laugh and joke. But the person he did it to, that everybody knows was underage, they just couldn't prove the timing of the video, how old, because nobody testified against him in that case. But eyes tell you everything. Was she mature? Was that little girl mature when he did all that stuff to her? We also had a video with another grown woman in that same room. Was she mature? Were them two women, them two females, mentally the same? Or was R. Kelly taking advantage of the other one because she was young, but maybe he was taking advantage of the grown one too, or the older one, the one that looked like she was in her 20s and 30s. Maybe he was taking advantage of both of them. Maybe they both was equally enamored with his status and who he was, to where, huh? How do you justify one over the other? Now, me being a father, I'm just gonna say it like this. I hear stuff like this. I don't give a damn. My daughter's 9, 19, 29, 39. Some dude was doing something to her, doing something to them. They ain't got no business. Uh yeah, it's time for a conversation. That's gonna have to end, and we're gonna have a conversation. Simple as that. But other than that, I mean, but again, I'm still gonna check my child and say, hey, this stuff here, some of this stuff, you should have bounced. You should have left. You grown. You got to get up out. You know what I'm saying? You had to stay in there. No, nothing. If Cassie was able to walk around freely anywhere in the world at any time, she could have got away. That's what I'm gonna say. But mentally, let's just be honest, P. Diddy had her, grown or not. And I've seen it happen to young girls. I've seen it happen to grown women. So again, I can't, I do not like when people say, when kids say that they're grown, somebody need to respect them. when you ain't lived long enough to grow peach fuzz on your balls. Well, we talking about females. Peach fuzz in your growing area. I don't want to hear it because it's some predators out here in these streets, man. There are some deviants out here in the street who have lived harder lives, who have seen more than you have, sitting up under your mama and your grandmama watching some no count dude come in there and eat up all the food, uh, treat you like crap, get his clothes ironed, hair done, all his stuff ready, but then your mama looking at you like whatever. And then if that dude sit there and try to make a move on you, mama gonna get mad at you and put you out. Come on now. Let's continue. Let's keep going.
Over her eye where she says she was shoved into the headboard of a bed at one of the hotels after one of.
Now I ain't saying P. Diddy wasn't abusive. But see, that's a different story. I'm talking about participating in like sexually deviant acts, and you feel like you just had to do it because a person can be abusive. I've talked to people, women in relationships before, and they'll say, they dated somebody, and then next thing you know, that person did something thought of they never thought they'd do. They put their hands on them, and then they walked away. They said they was done. That's not gonna happen. Then I've seen relationships where somebody put their hands on them and then they stay in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? It happens. Somebody, regardless of when, where, why, and how, if you're in a relationship where there's physical abuse, emotional abuse, and let's say like physical abuse. I mean, hell, if it's on either side, if he hitting her, if she hitting him, if he's hitting her, if he's hitting her and she's hitting him, if it got to get physical, it's time to, what I'm saying? It's time to either get some serious counseling or time to get about. The emotional abuse, I don't know. To me, it depends because a lot of times women like to holler this emotional abuse when someone tells you the truth about something and not really caring about your feelings, but they're more caring about making sure you understand that you don't do anything to hurt yourself or jeopardize yourself or showing that you're doing something stupid or silly. That's not emotional abuse. That's just somebody telling you the truth. So they like to say, oh, emotional abuse me because said something about the ends, my what you call it, the ends, split ends, whatever you call it, baby hairs or whatever, edges. Said something about my edges, or said that I need to lose some weight. That's not right. That's emotional abuse. Well, it depends on where it's coming from. If you got a guy who's actually thinking about his own, or a person thinking about their own health and was overweight and went to the doctor or seen, had, trying to avoid more problems, physical problems, want to live a longer, healthier life as long as they're alive, want to live as healthy as possible. And they are trying to go through transitions, or they have lived a certain way and, trying to live a certain way and want you to live the same way too. They're going to say, yeah, you might need to lose some weight. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into the gym. Let's change our diet. It's not nothing that's trying to hurt your feelings. It's just, this is true. Look at Lizzo. Lizzo tried that bull crap talking about body shaming and stuff, and she big and this and that. There. Now all of a sudden, Lizzo is dropping pounds, working out, eating right, looking better, feeling better.
These freak offs, and that also the emotional toll that these freak offs were taking on her. She wasn't able to pursue the music career that she had been promised and that she had wanted to do early on. And she was also talking about the emotional toll on her. She wanted to have a one-on-one relationship with Sean Diddy Combs, and she said she was starting to feel that all he wanted her for was these freak offs, which he would verbally assure her that was not the case. But she said they were happening at the rate of about one a week, sometimes lasting from 1 to as many as 4 days. They were drug fueled. She was taking ecstasy. They were taking cocaine. They were taking mushrooms. And then to come down on it, what she revealed today was that she developed an opiate addiction. She was taking opioids in order to calm herself down, and also to numb herself. And she said that's what was happening. She just had to numb herself from the entire experience. And in her words, she used the word disassociate from what was happening because it was just so painful. She also testified that over the years of her relationship with Sean Diddy Combs. She developed there were hundreds of freak offs. She developed ongoing UTIs, urinary tract infections, which even though they were being treated and even though very painful, she had to continue doing these freak offs.
You know why she got UTIs, right? If we're talking about the sexual part of it, either one, well, shoot, one thing, she probably wasn't, I mean, couldn't clean herself. Uh Guys are probably, can you imagine? Anyway, like I said, it's some stuff in this thing I really don't want to say. But y'all have to like just, I mean, hell, I'm sure y'all heard about the stuff what dudes would do to her, and then she would go to a different room and then do it to, Diddy, whatever. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But if these men are shooting up the club in her, what I'm saying, that she's not, let's say, being able to cleanse herself good enough, for days, all, stuff like that, that could cause UTIs and stuff like that. So I mean, there's some stuff going on. This woman is lucky that she's still alive. This woman is lucky that she doesn't have some kind of STD that could take her out. She's lucky. She's very lucky. Again, but I want to go back to the point. Was she grown doing all this? Man made her promise, and she said she had to fulfill all these needs in order to get them records out. I think she put out one album and a few songs here and there. But she thought she had to. But my thing is, a contract for a record label ain't got nothing to do with being in a relationship. You can have a contract with her. You can have a record label contract, and any kind of contract ain't got to be like a personal relationship, like a job, like any other job. Like, jobs will promise you a whole lot of stuff, and then next thing you know, something happened and you don't get it. What do you do? I mean, you try to get about the job. You leave. You try to do something else. Get you some lawyers. She ain't got no money. I guess not. But I mean, she probably could have sued. But again, she's grown, but she's naive. Like I say, she's young in the mind. This is why we need to go back to the family dynamics and, if anything, try to keep our daughters in the house as long as possible to monitor the decisions they make. They can make jacked up decisions, but it's best they do it under your umbrella, so you could have an easier time to see what's going on and control the narrative a little bit, so they can learn, they can make mistakes and then kind of learn in the controlled environment, so it won't be so hard on them. Because once they get out in them streets, like I say, you got some dogs out there, man.
And then she also said she developed sores in her mouth from the activity that was going on, oral sex and things of that nature.
Damn.
Baby oil, all kinds of things.
So she got hurt. She got that hurt.
It's happening at these freak offs with her and another man. And then she named at least 12 of the escorts, the male escorts. Their pictures were shown in open court. And then when it came time to talk about some of the intimidation that she felt, she said that Diddy, when she would, hesitate about participating in the freak offs or tell him, I can't do this anymore, she says he allegedly threatened to expose her with videos. He had taken videos of these freak offs and shame her publicly with the videos of those freak offs. So today what happened was the judge ruled that the images, the still images from these freak offs could be shown to the jury, which they were.
Remember, they raided his house and came out with a bunch of tapes and boxes. Remember that now.
And very graphically, so graphic they must have been that one of the jurors basically put her hand to her chest and was like almost gasping when she took a look at them. They were not shown to the open court. They took great precautions with the video screens to make sure that people could not be seeing them from any surveillance cameras in the courtroom or anybody in the overflow courtroom. That was completely blocked and that they were completely private. Then Cassie went on to testify about how the relationship, she was getting to the point where she needed to end it. She wanted to end it, and that the one of the big bombshell pieces of testimony that came out of today was she said that 2018 she met Combs for what was supposed to be a nice dinner to basically end things amicably, which is what she thought was going to happen. They had a lovely dinner, she said, and then they went back to her house, which was not too unusual. And then as soon as they were back in the house, she said that Combs forced her to have sex, that she was sexually assaulted by him at that particular point. So she
So I don't understand that. If you're trying to end it, why would you go back to your house together? You give this man too much credit. Too much credit. He done all this to you for years, abused you, and it's like, okay, let's go back to the house. Okay, let's go back to my house. And you just want to take that chance. But again, was she grown? Was she manipulated? Was she an adult? Was she of legal age? So does it really matter? I'm just asking. Remember, she's more mature. Remember, women are more mature than we are.
also talked about the emotional abuse and trauma that she went through. She said that this created, she felt degraded, which she had mentioned also yesterday, but that this was taking a serious emotional toll on her. All of the drug use was definitely taking a toll on her. She became very, very depressed. And then after this alleged sexual assault, she says in 2023, when she was with her current husband, Alex Fine, who was originally Diddy's personal trainer and at one point her personal trainer, they had already had 2 kids at this point. She's pregnant now with her 3rd child. That she said to her husband, Alex, she said, I just can't do this anymore. She goes, you can handle the kids without me. And she was about to go out of the house and into the street to supposedly throw herself in front of a car or to end her life in some way, and that he stopped her and he saved her. And she said that basically that what this was all about for her was her unloading all of this baggage that she was still carrying.
So, question. I'm not a psychologist, psychiatrist, or anybody deal with people who think of taking themselves out, but is it normal for someone to tell somebody that they're about to do something to themselves and then run out and go do it, thinking that they're not going to stop them? I thought, and maybe I'm wrong, man, I need to chat GTP this, that most times when people do something to take themselves out, there are things that they do, but they're not really going to say. Like what they say, their attitudes are different. They might become more happy, more, I don't want to say docile, more somber. They'll start giving away things, being nice to people. Might be a little offset with people, maybe, but yet not really showing emotion one way or another. Things have changed. It's, I don't, like I said, I'm not a professional in that, but one thing I don't think I ever heard is somebody say, "Oh, I'm going to go and do this to myself." I know they'll write a letter and then go off because they don't want the person to try to stop them again. And I'm sure today the defense is going to try to eat this woman alive, because if I was a defense attorney, I would think that that was probably a manipulative tactic for attention, not necessarily going to go out there and do something, but for attention. But I ain't trying to victim shame. I'm just trying to hit it from both sides, from both angles. Now she said that Cassie was able to name at least 12 workers. Like she named these guys. So that means that these are guys that were pretty much on P. Diddy's payroll for these freak offs. Interesting. Interesting. See, another question I have is, she's up there, crying, says she needs to take a break, told her husband she can't do this no more. Now I can understand, okay, she need to get all this off her chest. See, thing about women, women for some reason love to tell their history. I think they do it for validation. Women love to talk about who they dated, how many men they dated, hell, damn near what they did when they dated these guys. But a dude doesn't want to hear that. Your man does not want to hear all the sexual escapades. Yes, we know the older we get, the less likely we're gonna find a virgin. We know that. But we don't want to know the guy's name. We don't want to know what the guy looked like, what he did for a living. Guys, we don't want to know what y'all did, who you did it with. Dudes don't want to know that because dudes are, first of all, we territorial and we possessive. Men love harder than women. It's just a fact because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to love a woman, right? So we love harder than the women. But for some reason, women don't respect them dudes. A man, on the other hand, most times we are not going to tell a life story, at least to the other females. We might talk amongst guys, guy talk, this, that, and the third, but we're not going to put our business out there for the world to see unless we are forced to, good or bad. If you find out about it, you see it, it is what it is. Hey, what Steve Harvey say? One thing I'd say I agree with Steve Harvey is that we say deny till you die. You can deny it or just don't even mention it. Be like, oh, okay. Like, look, Marlon, I heard you used to do this and do that. Really? Where you hear that from? It's from, it don't matter what, so-and-so said. Okay. Is it true or false? I don't know what you're talking about. And just keep it moving. But women be like, yeah, man, back in my day, girl, I was out in the street. And this, man, like, dude, like I say, the dude don't want to hear all that, man. It just don't want to hear it. We know that we ain't the first, but we don't want to know the details. You understand what I'm saying? It's a difference. And the first thing people want to say, women want to say is, well, he's not mature enough. If he don't want to hear that, and that makes him upset, and he's not mature. Okay, well, his mature ass is gone. Or mature ass is going to back. And you go out there and be mature by your damn self with your disrespectful tail. That's the difference between us. But I feel like she's on the stand pretty much because a lot of time I think people feel guilty about what they did. She a lot of the stuff she was a willing participant. After a while, she don't want to participate no more. But she was too deep. She thought she was. She's too deep, too caught up. You know how to get out of it at a certain time. That's life. You know what I'm saying? You put yourself in situations, shoot, trying to get it out. It ain't as easy to get out as it is to get in. By the time you realize what's going on, shoot, you months and years into it. And it's like, dang, what have I done? Now you don't know if you should feel guilty or feel like a victim. It's one or the other. But so the question is like, what is she crying for? Is she feeling like she needs to get it off her chest on her end for what she did, or is she really feeling like a victim about what he did to her? Let's keep going. And we're gonna talk about Alex Fine here in a minute.
From all of these years of alleged abuse, physical, emotional, and who knows, a lot of physical things too that may still be occurring for her. And it was very traumatic. She broke down crying, talking about the sexual assault. Up until that point, she'd kept her composure, even though you could tell that it was very difficult for her to say this and to speak her truth in open court like that. And then one of the other big revelations that came out from today was that everyone remembers that settlement that was done in 24 hours between Cassie's attorney, Douglas Wigdor, and this was in November of 2023 when she filed the civil suit. It was settled within 24 hours. She says apparently it was for $20 million for her not to publish a book that she had been starting to write. So that was confirmed, the amount. There was a lot of talk about the speculation of how much she received in order to settle that suit. The amount was $20 million. So that's the latest here from the federal courthouse. I'm Lisa Evers. Please follow us, Fox 5 NY YouTube. Please follow me.
So lastly, I want to talk about Alex Fine. Now you got this young lady, like I say, she in the courtroom, pregnant, 8 months pregnant, got 2 kids, bawling, pouring her heart out, getting the sympathy and empathy of the jury, the judges, and everybody else around. And then her husband is in the courtroom with her. Now, Diddy's lawyers wanted him out. I think the judge said he could stay up until a certain part. Then some rumor came out that Alex Fine left the courtroom. No, so they say he stormed at the courtroom during the testimony. It wasn't really no storming out. Dude just leaving. And I'm sure he was told not to say anything to anybody, just walk out. and keep walking till you get to the car and just keep going. Don't talk to any press. Don't look. Don't make any eye contact. Same thing that Cassie did when she walked into the courtroom. Don't make eye contact. Just look straight and keep going. I mean, these people have been doing this type of stuff for years, so they know exactly how you need to handle the situation. But then somebody, some dummy over here will go from way on the other, from the left side over here, will be like, "Oh, he stormed out the courtroom. He's upset about everything he heard." And then I hear someone say that they would, if that was me, I would divorce Cassie. Question is why? I, at this point, why would you do that if you was him? Now, it don't hurt that she married uh, a physically fit, I guess, handsome looking white dude whose last name is Fine. You can't make this stuff up. But at this point, like I said, why would he divorce her? Because he did his personal trainer and then he became hers. So let's just say that it's a good possibility that they had a relationship or started a relationship while she was still dating. I mean, while she was still with P. Diddy. It's a good possibility. If he's a personal trainer, quite possible that she done told him things that were going on. Because again, women like to talk. And he, like, came to her aid, came to her rescue, being the perfect gentleman. I get it. So, like I said, so why would he leave her at this point? Now, it would be different if he knew nothing about it. But there's no way he couldn't know anything about what's going on because stuff has been in the news for years, for since the beginning. I mean, especially if you were in that industry, I guarantee you he knows some things, probably saw some things, probably heard some things. So it's not like this will all be new to him. Now, again, from a male's perspective, even the judge said that once she started talking about like the sexual allegations and the issues, he would have to leave the courtroom. But the thing is, you got people who are in the courtroom taking notes, watching it, and then coming out and reporting on it. And then they come out and saying that there were things that were being done to her that you would be like, what in the hell? Now, again, because I'm like this. I mean, now I say like this. Could I have been in the courtroom to hear all this stuff? I don't know. I don't know. That would be a tough one for me. Because again, as a dude, no man wants to hear everything that anything that his woman has been through sexually, anybody before him. No man wants to hear that. Like I say, we know, but we don't want to know. You feel what I'm saying? Men understand what I'm talking about. Women, I don't think y'all understand. A lot of y'all don't understand that. So we don't want to hear it. And we definitely don't want it to get out in public. I mean, it's two different things. If matter of fact, like I say, if a dude, let's say like this, if a guy comes up to another guy and brags about his woman, the relationship they used to have. What was that movie, Omar Epps? And was it Omar Epps? I think it was. I can't. I see all my Omar Epps' face, but I don't think it was him. But I think it was where he had got a job. He was like a convicted felon. His girl was a knee alone, and she was a hairdresser, but she got him a job at a plant, at a warehouse. Something. He didn't know it. She got him the job. He was happy that he was working, but then the guy who was the supervisor coming talking to him, and him with his light skin tail went started kind of bragging about his girl because they used to be his girl back in the day. So now you see old dude getting upset. I don't think that was on my Epps. God, what movie was that? Anyway, you see him getting upset and all, mad and stuff like that, and the guy kept talking, disrespecting the fella, and then the dude ended up like putting hands on him, and so then old boy fired him or whatever. But that's the thing. like say you can imagine being disrespected like that if somebody coming up to you bragging about what they did to your gal back in the day. That's just blatant disrespect. But like I say, so dude gonna feel some type of way if he hear about everything that went on back in the day. Cause ain't nobody gonna say, man, I sure hate that she did this or I had her doing that and she was jumping on this and doing that. You know what I'm saying? Man, well, like me and like 12 other dudes. God, I hate that happen. Ain't no dude gonna say that. Not at all. Now he might say it now because it might mess around and get him put in prison. But normally in regular circumstances, dude ain't gonna say that. But on the other hand, if a female said something about her dude or about dude she used to be with, because they'll sit there and say, "Oh, I was with him." You know, women to clash and they be like, "Oh, I was with him last night. Or he was over here last night doing this and that." Third. Well, last week he wasn't saying that the other day. You know what I'm saying? With all the blah blah blah. Female are getting mad, but then the female want to try to prove that she's better than the other female. Crazy, right? Crazy, right? But anywho, I think today, like I said, she's going to be cross-examined, so it's going to be. Ooh, I can't wait to hear what's going on, what they're going to say today, and how she going to react to it. Hope the water don't break and that baby don't pop out. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. Leave your comments below. Share it with the world. Let's have an intelligent conversation. You know how we do around here. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Those 4 things cost you nothing but maybe a couple of minutes out your day, but it means the world to us here. If you would like to support us financially, you can give super thanks, super chat, super stickers. And there are a couple of links in the description box, like PayPal, Zelle, Cash App, that you can support us that way. Now, if you would like something tangible for your dollars, and a lot of people would, you can go to marlonmorale.com, which is, I believe, is watermarked in the bottom of this video, depending on how your screen is turned. You hit a Shopify store, or you can just hit the shop button below and check out all our luxury products. We got fragrances that last all day. We got 100% silk products, beard products, handbags, much more. Check it out. You will not be disappointed. And with that being said, I leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.